Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, it is currently 4:01 p.m. on this muggy, rainy Tuesday afternoon. And I am waiting for my husband to come home. And then we are taking Boo Radley to his vet appointment, which is at 5:20 today. So, yeah, that's been kind of my day. I woke up and I had this entire list of things that I was going to do today. And let me tell you how many I've gotten done. Just, I've gotten one of them done. I kind of was like, planning on making videos on all of my channels today, and I had it all like written out on my list over here of like which video I was gonna make on each of my channels and everything. And then I woke up and I don't know if it's just because of the weather today or what. I mean, I feel very well rested today, but I just was like, I'm really not in the mood to film a bunch of videos today. So I think this vlog is actually gonna be the only video that I make today. And then tomorrow, I have my therapy session, my Zoom therapy session, and then I'm going to try and make videos on several of my channels tomorrow as well. But, so yeah, so we're gonna go to the vet today, have that to do, make the bed. I'm gonna do that as soon as I get done vlogging. My meeting, question mark. I just got off the phone with Tanya. We're not really sure if we're gonna go to the meeting or not tonight. So Alex has a dinner plans with he has dinner plans with a friend of his that is in town that he used to work with. That's like one of his really close friends. She's the girl that we went to Dallas for her wedding. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a couple years ago that we went to Dallas for her wedding. So she comes to town to visit like her family and stuff every like 2 months, something like that. And she's pregnant, and so a bunch of them are going out to dinner tonight, and it's kind of like a baby shower, not like official baby shower, but like baby shower / like dinner. And so Alex is going to that, and that's right as soon as he gets home from going to the vet. So if I go to the meeting tonight, I have to take an Uber to Tanya's, and I don't know that I'm going to have enough time when I get home to take a shower and get an Uber to Tanya's in time to make it to the meeting in time. So that's kind of what I have to figure out. So anyway, I'd like to go to the meeting tonight, and she'd like to go to the meeting tonight. She was like, why don't you just have Alex drop you off after the vet appointment? And I was like, well, because I'm not really ready right now to do that dressed. But if he gets home, so my plan is to vlog right now for like a half an hour, and then I may take like a quick shower, and if that's if we have enough time to do that, because I think it'll only take us like 20 minutes to get to the appointment, and then I can upload my vlog at the same time that I'm taking a shower, and then I can just be ready and go to Tanya's right after the meeting possibly. So yeah, so that's my plan. And if that doesn't work out and we're at the appointment for a super long time, then I will take possibly an Uber to Tanya's, one way or the other. Things will work out, but that's my plan, Stan. So I was like, okay, I gotta vlog now. I was like, Tanya, I have to vlog still. She was like, okay. And I was like, well, let me get off the phone and I will vlog now so that I have a vlog. So this will probably be a shorter vlog because I want to get it rendered, and then I want to be able to upload it while I'm gone. So that when I come home from my meeting tonight, whenever I go to my meeting, that it will be ready to post. So Amazon man brought my new book today. I ordered this. Now, y'all know I love the meditation books, right? So, on The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, the 2nd season, Phaedra Parks is on it. And there's a scene in one of the episodes towards the end when, I can't remember who asks her, I think it's Tamra asks Phaedra to kind of, she was like, confront Dorinda about how Dorinda is. And so Phaedra does this wonderful thing where she like brings this meditation book that's like one of her favorite like spiritual meditation books, and she reads it at this dinner that they're having, and then she kind of goes in and talks about all of it. And I really liked the way that she approached it. I thought I was really impressed with it. And so I ordered the book online. I knew it was going to be a really religious book. I knew that. But the book is called Praying Through It. And it's by William Murphy III, 365 Days of Prayers That Make Praying Easy. And so, like, each day in here is a different prayer. So, like, here, like, May 23rd, it'll be bigger. May 24th, God is not a liar. And then if you see, they're just like, they have like a quote out of the Bible, which, you know, like, I'm not a religious person, but like that doesn't bother me at all as far as like kind of like leading into a meditation. And then it has a prayer underneath it. Sometimes I have to kind of like with super religious text, I have to kind of edit through it a little bit and like kind of read through it a little bit for the message, if that makes sense. Oh, this is interesting. So June 29th, which is my birthday, was fighting for my future. Today's was about peace, keeping peace. Hold on, I just read it and did my prayers and meditations. And where's it at? I got my peace back. That was today's meditation, and I just read that. It says, I pray the same grace comes on your life today and that you choose to walk in his peace all day and for the rest of your days. So anyway, it is, I will say this, that it is really highly religious. So if you're turned off by stuff like this, like for me, I think, you know, interestingly enough, like having been in recovery this long, it's like, you know, I think people have this idea that recovery is a religious foundation when that's absolutely not true whatsoever. It's a spiritual foundation, and you get to pick your own higher power and all that, which, by the way, if that weren't the case, I don't think I would even be sober today, because I think had it been forced down my throat, I would have had huge issues with it. But there are people, Alex is texting me. There are people, you know, in meetings that are really, really religious. And, hold on just a second. He said he's heading home right now. So I will stop vlogging when he gets home. But there are people that are really religious that are in recovery, obviously, you know. And I think sometimes, like, I've just had to, you know, kind of weed through the message, if that makes sense. And it's not necessarily always the words that are used and whatever. And, I don't know. So, we'll see. We'll see what I think of this for a while. I like to try different meditation books and different forms of spirituality. When I was trying to find my higher power, I read so many different books on, you know, on Christianity and Judaism and Buddhism and Hinduism and Native American wisdom and Kabbalism, you know, which is a form of mystical Judaism. And I read so many different books to try to help me figure out, because I was like on this major journey of trying to figure out what worked for me, and what I really found were just basic concepts of love, peace, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, and that for me, like, a condemning or judgmental higher power didn't work in my grand scheme of things. So anyway, so I got this book today, and it says, Praying Through It is the second installment of an ongoing series of books of prayers that literally make praying easy. Volume 2 is a gathering of a year's worth of personal prayers and conversations with the Father that he has mandated that I share with you. And that's interesting. What began as a personal journey in pursuit of my own personal power, space, and language has evolved into a corporate training ground for people who are trying to find their place in space with God. So, anyway. I got it on Amazon. It was expensive, I will tell you that. The paperback was like $27. I was kind of surprised by that, but if you're interested in looking through, you know, a new meditation book and you are not affected by anything highly religious like I am, I can either take it or leave it, honestly. Like, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really bother me, so I can like read the highly religious meditations and just be like, oh, it's, you know, it's somebody's way of speaking that they care. So anyway, last night, last night we had our marriage counseling session. It went very, very well. Did I vlog after our marriage counseling session? I feel like I finished it a little bit. Yeah. So then we went to, or did I, I can't remember. I think I vlogged for like 15 minutes after our marriage counseling session last night, which is why it got up so late. It can't, like, it was ready to go, and at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like, I kept on checking it, and it wasn't ready to be published yet. So I don't know why it took so long. I think it was because it was longer. So we went to Cheesecake Factory afterwards. That was delicious. Yeah, I talked about that last night. Then we came home, and Alex, like, right away, like, I was like putting the video stuff together, and he went upstairs and started watching Uncoupled, the end of it. And then I laid down for like an hour while he was watching it. And yeah, I would have like the fan on. So I was like, can you put your headphones on so I don't hear what's going on in the last 2 episodes, because I still have those to watch. And I was really tired, because he was like, do you want to watch them with me? And I was like, no, I'm really tired. I have to sleep a little bit. So I laid down and slept, and then I got up and I watched the last 2 episodes of Uncoupled, and I finished the season. Here's my thing. I don't know why these shows keep on ending on cliffhangers. I'm kind of really tired of it, honestly. Like, I understand that it's to get us interested and to come back and watch the next season, but like, I feel like this could have ended not on a cliffhanger, and still I would have wanted to watch the next season. And that's the first thing. The second thing is because there's no promise that it's going to be renewed. Like that show that I watched, which was about the vampire girls, the one that was the vampire and the one that was the hunter, First Kill or First something like that, that was on Netflix. Like, I watched that whole season and it got canceled. And that show ends on such a cliffhanger that, like, if you don't have a second season to it, the show makes no sense. Like, seriously. Uncoupled is a little different. Like, it doesn't end on such a cliffhanger, but it does enough that you kind of know the whole direction that the second season's going to go into, which, because it's a Neil Patrick Harris production, and you know, there are so many people, Tisha Campbell's in it, and Marcia Gay Harden, and there's so many great people in the show, and the show is so well done, that you know it's going to get renewed for a second season. I loved it. I really did love it. I ugly cried the last episode. I don't know what it was, but I just like bawled my eyes out the whole entire second or last episode. And do you know, it was interesting because somebody asked me, or somebody commented on the vlog, because I was talking about Neil Patrick Harris's age, and I didn't understand why they aged him down, that he was 49, and in the show, he's playing, like, a 40-year-old. I never know, like, which comment is going to kind of, like, get in my head and then I think about, but this was interesting, because this comment was, I don't know why you have an issue, I could look it up and tell you who said this comment, but they said, I don't know why you have an issue, I should probably just look it up, with Neil Patrick Harris, playing somebody younger, when people, like, on the CW shows and stuff play younger people all the time. Here, I want to make sure that I get the comment straight. Oh shit, where is it at? It was from last night, I know that. It was something like, I don't know why you had such an issue with Neil Patrick Harris's, and it's somebody that comments a lot on my, here it is. Alexa. She said, why is it so strange that Neil Patrick Harris would play a few years younger, considering every high schooler on TV is 25 to 30, which is so true. I mean, it's so true. That always bugged me when a sophomore boy has a full 5 o'clock shadow and pecs. And it was so true. And I read this comment and I was like, I kept on thinking about it, you know? And I was like, why does it bother me? And I think it's kind of like the whole idea of own voices, if that makes sense. You know, that like having gay, like LGBTQIA plus actors playing LGBTQIA plus characters, or whatever. I think it just was kind of like, I don't know, like, being Neil Patrick Harris's age, I was like, why do we have to age him down? Like, he looks younger a little bit, I think. It was funny, like, Alex was saying last night, or when he was watching it the other night, he was like, he's a lot of wrinkles in his face. And I was like, hey, wait a second on those wrinkles, you know? But, I mean, Neil Patrick Harris, like, he looks good. I think if I, like, met him and I never knew anything about him, I think I would guess him to be in his mid-40s. I don't think I would guess him to be upper 30s or anything like that. It was interesting because the guy that played his ex, like, every person he encountered on the show kept on saying, oh, your ex was so good-looking, and always acted like he was, like, the good-looking one, and I didn't think he was good-looking. I've never really thought Neil Patrick Harris was good looking. I think his husband, David Burka, is good looking. But Alex, I said something to Alex about it, and Alex is like, oh, that guy that played his ex, I always saw it in shows that he's good looking. But I don't know why it bothered me. I really don't. Like, I think because as I get older a little bit, you know, there is this, like, stigma within the forgotten ones as you get older, you know, of, like, being gay and being older is like this hard thing, right? And so I think, I don't know, I think it was a little bit that, like, I should care, it shouldn't bother me at all, right? Like, I should be happy that Neil Patrick Harris is able to play a younger character and they're doing it on the show, right? I think that's fantastic. So anyway, I don't know, but Alexa, thank you for your comment, because it really did make me think about it. I was like, why are you being judgmental towards this when you're not about that? The show is personal for me. I really have to say that it was, you know, as somebody that went through a period several years ago where I wasn't sure if our marriage was going to make it or not. It was a hard show for me to watch. We actually talked about it in our marriage counseling session last night. And, you know, he comes out of this world of being in this monogamous relationship for 17 years. And he comes out into this world of, you know, Grindr and dating apps and everybody being on PrEP, which is, I don't know if you guys know what PrEP is, but it's a drug, like a anti-HIV drug. And so he comes out into this world of, like, people not using condoms and things like that. And so it's like this really like this world that he is not aware of, because the last time that he was going out, he was, you know, like, meeting people in bars, and he's been on the couch for, like, the last 17 years, you know, watching Netflix with his husband, and he's like, that's the life that he wants. And I can remember at that time that Alex and I were really going through a hard time, and I thought, like, what does my future look like for me? Like, am I gonna date? Like, am I going to, like, I just couldn't imagine. I'm just not the person. Like, this may sound so not sexy to people, I don't know. But, like, I don't judge it. Like, I don't. Like, I have friends of mine, men and women, gay and straight, that get on hookup apps and go and hook up with people. I think it's dangerous. That's one of my initial responses to that, is that I think it's dangerous. It scares me, you know. But I also know people that, like, have met on those apps and are, like, in relationships today, or whatever. So, I mean, I really, truly, I mean, I do not judge it, but I also know that I don't know that that's who I could be. Like, I don't know that I could have this just anonymous conversation with somebody. I mean, like, there's this whole scene in the show that they show where it's like, he says like hello to somebody, and the guy says, hey, how are you? And he says, good. And the guy's like, dick pic. And then he says, I don't have one, and the guy blocks him. Like, to me, that is so impersonal that, like, that's the world that I think I imagined coming out of this marriage into. That scared me. And I was like, I don't know that I can do this again. I don't know that I can start dating again. I don't know that, you know, and like, I can remember, like, thinking about my mom, and my mom would be like, Peter, like, when you date, like, in your 40s and 50s, like, it's so different. And she really didn't, you know, and she'd say it's so different, and she'd say, you know, men want to hook up right away, and she'd say, you know, like, that's not what I want to do, and on and on. I don't know, like, I think it was scary to me, and at that time, I used to say, well, the part that I was going to say that I don't think comes across as very sexy is saying that I just don't think that, hey, how are you, that I could get on those apps. I just don't think that I could, you know, and I don't know. I just, and not because I think there's anything wrong with it, just because I think my fear of having my picture out there, or being judged, or whatever, or going somewhere and just showing up to somebody's apartment door or whatever. And, like, don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of one night stands and done all that, and in my youth and whatever. I mean, even up till, you know, when I met Alex that last year when I was like 36 and all that kind of stuff. But I just think that, hey, how are you? I just think, it's just a different world, and they show it so fantastically in this show, you know, and I don't know. I've said for like the last couple years that I think that if Alex and I didn't make it, if our marriage didn't make it, that I would just stay single for the rest of my life, that I probably wouldn't date, and if I did date, I would want it to be like so-and-so, like, knows somebody, and so they hooked us up and, you know, introduced us together. But, like, when does that happen? I mean, that hardly ever happens, you know? Even with my heterosexual friends, that hardly happens. And so, I don't know. I think dating is so much harder today, and I think, like, people are like, oh, well, the apps and all of that have made it easier. And I'm like, have they really? Like, seriously, have they? I feel like they've made them almost more difficult. I feel like we don't know how to talk to people to even be friends, let alone date somebody, right? Like, whereas before, it was like you go to a bar or a club. I mean, you know, the younger generation doesn't even go out anymore. You know, for us, a Saturday night was laying by the pool, or going to the tanning bed and getting a good tan on, and, you know, going to the mall and buying an outfit and taking a nap and getting up and, you know, pre-gaming and putting on your cute outfit and going out to the club and, you know, meeting somebody and hoping that, like, you were going to meet Mr. Right that night, right? And getting somebody's number. And I was always very, like, if you're interested in me, you'll take my number and you'll call me. Like I said, I had my fair share of, you know, one night stands. I don't know why I'm even embarrassed in saying that. I'm 50 years old. It's like, who cares, right? But, I mean, I didn't have tons or anything like that, but I kind of knew on those occasions that that wasn't going to turn into anything that serious, you know? And I can remember saying to people, like, you know, like, if you're really interested in, like, people that would hit on me, I'd say, if you're really that interested, like, take my number and call me, you know, and then we can go on a date. And I felt like that was really something. Like, I felt like that was really, like, setting some boundary or something of respect, you know what I mean? It was funny because I went on okay, so when my ex and I broke up that winter, I was out at a bar here in town with my friend that now she lives in California. And I met this guy, and he was super good looking, and he had on like a sailor sweater and like this little hat. He had real curly hair and stuff. He was real cute. And I'm like a threat for, I love curly hair. And so, he was like, he was like, Peter, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. And he was like, do you not remember me? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, I just moved back here. And he was like, I used to be part of your friend group, like back in the day. I had no clue who this guy was. I think still to this day, I kind of feel like, well, he turned into being a stalker, which is... But to this day, I kind of feel like the whole thing was a story, like, that he made up or something. I don't know. But anyway, he was like, oh my God, he was so complimentary of me. He was like, I always wanted to date you back in the day, but you always had a boyfriend. He was like, even if it was just for 2 weeks, you had a boyfriend. And that is so true. Like, I was kind of like a monogamy whore. Like, I would never wanted to be the person that was like single and doing one night stands. Like, I always wanted to have a boyfriend, always. And I think, you know, in retrospect and having done therapy on it and stuff, it's probably because this relationship, this man, this person that wanted to be with me or whatever, validated my existence. I know that to not be true today, but I think that's how I felt back then. So anyway, he and I talk at this bar, and I'm very flirty with him and all this kind of stuff, and he's like, can I get your number? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He plays all the cards right? So he calls me, and we go on this date. Have I told this story on here before? Anyway, it was very bizarre. It ended up... I don't even want to get into the details of it, but it just was bizarre. It just was very bizarre. And then he would, like, turn up at places. Like, one day he just, like, showed up at my apartment. Like, I mean, it was, like, late at night or something, and I had come home from being somewhere, and there was, like, a knock at the door, and he was, like... I had to go down. I could see him standing there because I had to, like, go down to the door to, like... We had, like, stairs inside, and this was in my apartment, and he was like, I just wanted to make sure you got home okay, and I was like... Yeah, I got home fine. Like, you don't need to come here anymore. I can't really remember everything, but I do remember, like, one of the last things that happened was he texted, because at the same time, Alex and I were dating, and we both had stalkers. And, they weren't, like, any, like, doing horrible things. They just were weird. You know what I mean? And so I was, like, at a club downtown. It was Talbot Street. There was two things that happened. I was at Talbot Street one night, and he texted me, and he said, you look really cute tonight. And I was like, where is he at? Like, and it was really weird. And then the other thing was something about, like, I was at the 10, and I was walking out in the parking lot, and I was by myself, like, in this parking lot going to get something from my car. And, the 10 used to be this fun lesbian bar that they had in Indianapolis. And, but the parking lot was kind of scary. And, and there was all these apartment buildings around. And he did the same thing. He texted me, and he was like, you know, you look really cute. And I said something, I can't remember what I said, but I was like, you need to lose my number or something like that. I was like, this needs to stop. It really was kind of scaring me at that point. And then I just, like, never heard from him again. Ever. Never heard from him again. Yeah, I'm not good with dating. I'm just not. And the other thing is, I can't date several people at the same time. Like, if I'm dating you, like, I gotta play it through and see if I like you before I can go on and date somebody else. Like, I'm just not good at dating, like, 2 and 3 people at a time. And, like, I gotta go on several dates with you and see what I think. You know what's interesting is that usually I can tell right away, like, if I think it's gonna last or not. Like, I can usually tell within 5 minutes of a date, like, this is a waste of time, or I have, like, a crusty in my eye. Like, this is a waste of time, or this is going to happen, you know? Like, I can usually tell. So... yeah. That went in a really weird direction tonight, didn't it? Oh, well. Okay, so if we have our appointment at 5:20, and then we get out of there, let's say, at 5:45, and we get home at, like, 6:15, and I can take a shower, I could be at Tanya's by then if I take an Uber. I would rather do that. She's, like, napping, so I'd rather do that than sleep forever. And then I'll just play it by ear. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play it by ear. If I get home early enough, then I will take a quick shower and get an Uber. And if I don't get home early enough, then I Did somebody call me? Oh. Oh, it's gonna stop here in 3, 2. Okay, so what was I saying? I was saying that I think I'm gonna play it by ear, and when I get home is kind of just like, because Tanya was like, yeah, I'd like to go, but no, I don't have to go, and whatever. And she was like, if I that she can drive to the meeting and then her husband could drive us home. But she's taking a nap right now. I think she's kind of resting and stuff, and so I don't want to sit there for an hour just while she's like resting and I'm like waiting to go to the meeting. I could, but I don't necessarily want to. So look who's home. Ooh, Radley's gonna start going crazy. Watch. Radley's not barking. That's weird. Anyway, well, I am going to get off here now, and I'm going to start getting ready for this appointment. So, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Tuesday. And remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. And 3, and most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And I love you guys so much. And I hope that you are having a magically amazing Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. See you later. Bye. Thank you for hanging out on the porch with me. Bye. Love ya. And one more. And for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around. One more. I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Happy birthday, Lena.